Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Let me scan this so I can show it to you. Hey, everybody. I want you to send me a hello in the chat. That's how I'm going to take attendance today. How's everybody doing? Anybody have questions? All right, look at. We have internet today. Very happy about that, right? Everybody's very happy. So look at. The last class, I gave you a little assignment, and many of you got it right, but some of you were off, and I want to talk about that. Okay, so we have chapter 4. Fucking hell. So this is chapter 4, where we tried to pick up the other day. And you see yield to maturity on the screen, right, Jake? So we talked about this, the yield to maturity. This is the interest rate that will equate the value of cash flow received from a debt with the value today. The interest rate, the yield to maturity, is the rate that new bonds would be issued at, or the rate that you could get on an investment today. Yeah, it's the rate out there available to you in the world. So we talked about simple loan is 10%. Fixed payment loan, right? You make a fixed payment. Each year is discounted back to today. Okay. We have a coupon bond. So a coupon bond pays coupons each year. At the end of the maturity, you collect your last coupon and the face value of the bond. Okay. When the coupon bond is priced at face, the yield equals the coupon rate. The price of the coupon and the yield to maturity are negatively related. So here's where we left off in the other day, and I gave you a little project to do, right? So I want to show you this. Do you see what I wrote? If you buy a bond? No. Generally, bonds are face value of $1,000. Basically, you're loaning someone money. If it's a corporation, they issue a bond and you give them the $1,000. If the face value is $1,000, you buy the bond for $1,000. You're giving them the money. In return, they make interest payments to you, coupon payments, until the end of the term, until the end of the maturity. Okay? So a $1,000 bond that pays 10% coupons coupon bond, you pay $1,000 and you collect the coupons for the life of the bond. A 10% coupon that's $1,000 face with a yield to maturity of 10% will be priced at $1,000. Okay? That's straightforward, right? Everybody knows this from corporate finance, hopefully. A 10% coupon, $1,000 bond with a 12% yield to maturity is going to cost less than $1,000, perhaps $800. Okay? A 10% coupon with an 8% yield to maturity is going to cost more than $1,000, maybe $1,200. Okay? So in the example I gave you, a $1,000 bond with a yield to maturity of 12.25%, I'm telling you that this interest rate is 12.25%. And I wanted you to tell me the price. So you could say, put 12.25 in here and solve for P. Okay, I would go, I'm going to scan this with my phone and email it to me. Hang on. Okay, this is the slide we're looking at. This is the problem I gave you. We have interest rate over here. We have $1,000 face value minus the price. I wanted you to tell me the price. Do a little algebra, multiply this side by P, solve for P, right? So we have multiply this side by P, that leaves you with 1,000 minus P, add the P over here, you have P times 12.25% plus 1, right, is equal to 1,000. So P is equal to 1,000 divided by 1.1225. So P should have been 890.86. Now, my question is, does that make sense to you? Because the yield to maturity on this bond is greater than the coupon rate. Yeah? In other words, that bond must cost less than $1,000, right? In order to make up the difference. So some of you were telling me that the price of the bond might be, $35, for example. So my point is that I want you to think about that, right? When you buy a bond, you're giving them $1,000, yeah? Or you're giving them something fairly close to $1,000, like 900 or 1,100, depending on the yield to maturity. So the other thing on this slide, and I'll post this slide, is up here. So if you've got present value as a future value discounted, then you can do this algebra to solve for the rate. All these things are related. The only reason I'm doing this is to show you that I don't want to see on an exam, what's the price of the bond? And somebody says, oh, it's $184,000, right? Or it's 35 cents. You know what I mean? I mean, think about what we're doing here. Yeah? When you buy a bond, you're giving them the money. And in exchange for the money, you're collecting interest. Okay, so that's what this was all about. Yeah. Distinction between interest rates and returns. So the payments to the owner in a bond plus the change in value expressed as a fraction of the purchase price. So we have return, which is made up of coupon payment divided by price. See, the interest rate and the rate of return may not be the same. If an interest rate is not the current market rate, the price of the bond is going to be different. So the rate of return is going to be based on the price plus the interest payments. Suppose you have a $1,000 10% bond that sells for $1,200 after 1 year. The payments to the owner are the interest payment, which is how much? 10%, $1,000 bond, what's the interest payment? Cole?
What's up?
Yeah, what's the answer?
100. I don't have a calculator in front of me.
You don't need a calculator to do that, man. You want me to repeat the question?
Sure.
It's a 10% $1,000 bond, coupon bond. What's the coupon payment?
$100.
Exactly, thank you. It sells for $1,200 after 1 year. The payments to the owner are, as Cole told us, $100 coupon payment plus the capital gains. The capital gains is the PT plus 1, which is 1,200, minus PT, which is 1,000. Yeah, the bond started out at 1,000. Now it's trading at 1,200. So 1,200 minus 1,000 divided by PT, which is 1,000, is $200, right? 20%. So the bond owner made 10% on the coupon and 20% in capital gains. Does that make sense for everybody? Current yield is equal to the coupon divided by the price, and capital gains is the new price minus the old price divided by the old price. So for this dude that bought this bond, he made 30%. 10% in a coupon and 20% in capital gains. Yeah, so there's two ways you can make money. You can make money by the coupon payment, and you can make money by the change in the price of the bond. Right? But you want to make a distinction between the coupon and the capital gains. The distinction between these interest rates and returns. The return is the yield to maturity only if the holding period equals the time to maturity. In other words, if you buy a 10% bond that's 10 years and you keep it for the whole 10 years, your return will be the 10%. A rise in interest rates is associated with the fall in bond prices, results in a capital loss if time to maturity is longer than the holding period. What does that mean? That means that if interest rates go up and you sell the bond before it matures, you've got to sell it at a lower price and you're going to lose money because the price you paid is less than the price you're going to get. The longer the bond's maturity, the greater that percentage change associated with interest rate changes. Right? Interest rates don't always have to be positive. We've seen that. Almost saw that in America where interest rates were like right around zero. The more distant the bond's maturity, the lower the rate of return occurs as a result of the interest rate. So the further out the bond, the more risk there is associated with interest rates. Yeah, if you've got a bond that matures in 6 months' time, there's not a lot of risk associated with 6 months from now. But if you've got a bond that's maturing in 30 years, you've got some major risk. Let me talk about that some more. The years to maturity, 30 years, current yield is 10%. Look at the percentage change in price, percentage change in capital gain, percentage change in the rate of return. This is huge. This is why if you're interested in being a trader, the long-term bonds, what they call big boys, is where the traders will go to make money because of this, right? They're not going to trade, usually they're not going to trade short-term instruments, although they do. They're going to trade long-term instruments because the volatility here is huge. Yeah, that's where they can make or lose a lot of money. If they trade short-term instruments, they've got to trade a lot of size. So they have to trade, 10 or 20,000 contracts at a clip to make the same kind of money that you might make if you traded 100 or 200 contracts of a 30-year bond. Does that make sense? Maturity and volatility of bond returns. What I'm talking about, the prices for long-term bonds are much more volatile. There's no interest rate risk for any bond whose time to maturity matches your holding period. In other words, if you buy the bond, you buy a 20-year bond because you want to collect the coupons for 20 years and reinvest them so that you have some money when your kid goes to college. As long as you keep that bond until maturity, you will earn the coupon rate. There's no interest rate risk associated with that, right? When the bond matures, they will give you back the $1,000 that you gave them. But if you sell that bond prior to the maturity, you either will make a capital gain or you will take a hit if interest rates have changed. Yeah, makes sense, right? Nominal interest rates make no allowance for inflation. So if inflation is 6% and your bank says, oh, we're paying 10% on deposits, so you say, oh, 10%, that's cool. You bring $1,000 to the bank. Next year, you're going to get how much money? The bank is paying 10%. You bring $1,000 and you deposit it in the bank. You leave it there for a year. Next year, you're going to have how much money?
$1,100.
$1,100. You're going to make 10% on the 1,000, right? but prices have gone up 6%. So that new bicycle that you want to buy that costs $1,000 that you're saving to buy next year, the price goes up 6%. Next year, it's going to cost $1,060, right? So you really are only $40 better off, right? Instead of the whole 1,100. That's the difference between nominal and real interest rates. Yeah, the bank says they're paying 10%, but inflation is 6%. You're really only making 4%. Yeah. What are you guys looking at? What screen do you see?
The PowerPoint.
Just like a slideshow.
Okay, cool. Nominal interest rate makes no allowance for the inflation. The real interest rate is adjusted for changes in the price level, so it reflects the cost of borrowing. We say ex ante, that's before. That is what is expected. Expected changes in the price level. Ex post, actual changes in the price level. After, ex post. All right, everybody cool? Anybody have questions? Okay, in the problems for chapter 4, I want to split you into 4 groups, and we'll do the first 4 problems for the rest of today. I'll give you 5 or 10 minutes to talk about them in your group, and that way you can also bullshit in your group with your fellow students. And then we're going to come back together, and one representative from each group give an explanation, just the first 4. And then the ones after that, they're applied problems, we'll do them next time. So I'm going to put you in the 4 rooms and you talk about them.
How's it going?
Great, man. How about you?
Yeah, doing all right.
I'm sorry I was picking on you, Cole. I could
That's
just see that you were messing around with other people.
Oh yeah, you know me. It's always
Yeah.
messing up.
With my Noah, my UK buddy, my arch enemy.
Oh, it's the worst.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah. So you're working on your problem and you have answers to it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We
It
got a
was
pretty
easy. It was easy, right?
yeah.
Oh my God, everybody looks so freaking bored. You got the answer to your problem, right?
We only have to do number 4, right?
Yeah.
Weird.
Who's your representative?
We didn't appoint one yet.
Oh, all right, I'll let you do that.
Come on.
So everybody's all excited. Did you get the answer?
Oh, we're working on them now.
Oh, who's going to be your representative? Has have you guys talked to each other at all? Do you know each other?
We just started talking.
All right.
We're getting there.
I think it's probably probably have to do interest rates for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, mm.
Do you guys getting the answer?
Yeah.
We got the first three.
Okay, we're going to come back together.
Wait, what did we say for one? I'm pretty sure it's 10% actually.
You said 20.
Yeah, but if the lower the interest rate, wouldn't that have higher present value?
Yeah. Well,
I guess like calculate it. I don't know if you can.
mm,
Okay, sports fans, who's going to do number one?
I can tell you. We said it would be worth more when it's 10% because it's like the present value of the dollar.
So what would it be worth if it were 10%? Anybody?
0.9.
What would it be worth if it were 20%?
0.83.
Good. That's exactly right. You're taking the money and discounting it, right? So it would be 1 discounted by 1.10 for 10%. Yeah, 1 plus R. R is 10%. It would be 1.10. $1 discounted by 20% would be 1 divided by 1.20. Gives you 83, right? So a dollar tomorrow is worth less with the higher interest rate.
Sorry, quick question. Are we just talking about bonds when we're referring to these questions, or just like a general like dollar be worth more?
Just generally the dollar, value of the dollar. You're just taking of some future value and discounting it back to today.
Wouldn't the dollar be worth more though, like in terms of like markets? Because if interest rates are high, then cash is not as available to everyone.
No, because we're talking about the value of that in the future. So you're bringing it back to today's value.
Okay.
Versus some future, the value today versus the value in the future. Yeah, did I answer your question, Max?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, it's all good. Thank you.
Okay, how about number 4? Yield to maturity increases or decreases?
We said that a decrease in the year to maturity is better for bondholders.
Say it again.
It's the decrease is better.
A decrease because what will happen?
Because the price will increase and then it reduces the capital loss.
Or increases the capital gain,
Yeah.
right? I mean, does that make sense to everybody? Very important concept, right?
Can you repeat that, please?
So if the if the yield to maturity goes up, the interest rates go up, the price of the bond will go down. If the bondholder sells the bond at a lower price, they lose capital gains, they lose money. If the interest rate goes down, if the yield to maturity goes down, that bond becomes more valuable. The price of it goes up. So if the bondholder sells it before maturity, they make a capital gain.
Thank you.
Everybody cool with that concept? What was the next one? Interest rates go down. Would you rather have a long-term bond or a short-term bond?
Short term.
So the interest rates are going down, right? So the price of the bond is going up. If the maturity of the bond is out 5 years, that price is not going to go up as much as if the maturity of the bond went out 10 years. Yeah? So, you know those things you pound into the ground so that your snowplow doesn't ruin the lawn along the edge of the driveway? You know those orange or yellow sticks that are fiberglass? Everybody know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah? If you hold that thing like this and shake it, the end of it goes up and down more than in the middle, right? Well, everybody's got this look on your face like Gallagher's out of his freaking mind. Look at, man, if you hold that thing in your hand and you go up and down, the end of it goes way up and down, right? And in the middle, it doesn't go up and down as much. That's how bonds work. If it's way out in time, it goes up and down and up and down when we change the interest rates. Yeah? Work it out on a piece of paper with a pencil or a pen. That's the image I want you to have. The volatility is way at the end of the stick. Yeah? If you were a trader, you would go to the big boys. That's what you want, a lot of movement. Okay, does that make sense? So, if interest rates would go down, would you rather be holding the long term or the short term?
Long term.
Yeah, because the price would change a lot. Okay, last one. Is that the last one? Did we do all four?
Just got 12 left.
Oh, interest rates were lower in the 80s than in the 70s. Does that make any sense, what this question is asking? Okay, we only got a couple of minutes. Here's what happened. In the late 70s, nominal interest rates were lower than expected rates of inflation. Somebody interpret that statement for me. Nominal interest rates were lower than the expected rate of inflation. What does that mean? That
Sounds
means,
like, okay.
oh, go ahead, Matt.
It sounds like you'd be losing money by just keeping it in the bank because inflation's greater than what you'd be making on interest.
That's exactly right. That is exactly right. If you wanted to buy that bicycle, right, and the bank was paying 10%, and you went to the bank and you put your $1,000 in the bank to save up for the bicycle, by the time a year went by, the bicycle would have went up in price more than you made at the bank in interest rates. Yeah? So it would have been stupid to put your money in the bank and earn interest on it. Right? You should have bought the bicycle right away. That's exactly right. Yeah, you were losing money by saving it. Okay? All right, everybody. Feel free to email me if you want some changes. But next time, we're going to do the applied problems that I circled. That's Friday. We'll do those together. All right? Everybody have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Mr. Gallagher,
Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay.
So is our exam next week?
No.
Oh, okay. Because I looked at the syllabus and I wasn't sure if that was.
Does it say that?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh, I'm
Because
sorry.
I believe it's okay. Because I was just confused on what we should be studying. Like if we should be studying more of the like of the questions that we just did right now, like those problems that we're doing as a group, or if we should more of the concepts or the actual like math. I wasn't sure, just all of it.
Well, we haven't done any math, right? I mean, we haven't. We're
Well,
only
we just started, yeah.
So let me look at the syllabus. So September 16th. That's next week.
Yeah, that's why I just wanted to make sure.
I only found out I was teaching this class on the Friday before school started.
Yeah. Okay. I was just wondering. So
No, tell the others no.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, man. See you
Take it
later.
easy.